Hey friends, it's your pal Mike Shea from Sly Flourish, here with another episode of Sly Flourish's Lazy GM Prep. In this weekly show, I go through steps from Return of the Lazy Dungeon Master while preparing for my Sunday role-playing game. In this case, I am running a game called Scourge of the Dragon Empire, set in the world of Midgard from Kobold Press, and using the Tales of the Valiant 5e system, also by Kobold Press. This show is brought to you by the patrons of Sly Flourish. Patrons get access to all kinds of tips, tricks, tools, source books, all kinds of things, the dedicated Discord server, all kinds of stuff that you get for being a patron of Sly Flourish. But most of all, the patrons help me put on shows like this. So patrons, thank you so much for your outstanding support. Last week, our heroes were navigating through Sapphire's Song, the Villa of Sapphire's Song, which sits upon, if we look at our map here, sits on the river between Sarklal here in the Dragon Empire. It is on the edge of the territory of Adasha. Adasha is one of the Morza, one of the dragon lords who rules over this area. And Adasha has a green dragon half basilisk named Stonegaze, who rules over this villa called Sapphire's Song, and the nearby city called Segatan's Anvil. So this is a riverside city, a walled riverside city that's job is to make sure that trade and shipment is going up and down this river. And so the characters came into the town, they looked around, they found out that there's sewers and passageways beneath. They use those sewers and passageways. Their goal is to go assassinate Stonegaze. So Eustasia Stonegaze, who's an Ermanli, right? An Ermanli is like a governor, like a regional governor, a powerful group. And so this is the first draconic Ermanli that they're looking to kill. And for me, the draconic Ermanlis are almost always adult dragons. So like they're going to face an adult green dragon. They better be careful if they face him today because they only got 4 characters and they're 8th level. That could be really risky. It could be really interesting. So they are, and I think that could be some of the knowledge and dangers that they fight while they're going through this place. Is like you better separate Stonegaze from their guards, or else you're going to be facing too many things at once. So I think like the assassination they're going to have to be careful about how they handle the assassination. So they made their way into the basement of the dungeon. So they made their way down here. I added a little that they showed up on the shores. They found that there was like an underground, very super clean water that had black puddings in it. The black puddings were eating all of the organic material that was thrown in, which leaves super clean water. I thought that was kind of fun. They found a shrine down here. They ended up having a bunch of conversations with people here, and they met an ally who was telling them what was going on. And people are coming in and out of these passageways here. Which I don't know if is exactly right. Now I look at it, they had barred gates, but whatever, it's too late now. And their kitchens are right to the other side, these big burning kitchens where they kind of prepare food for the nobility that lives up above. And one of the characters went invisible and went up these stairs leading into the main area and stole a jeweled goblet. And I think they did so with the intention of using the Helm of Teleportation to be able to drop everyone right into like the throne room at once. The throne room is actually not the throne room where Stonegaze operates. Stonegaze has a child, a young yellow dragon who named Willowviper, Mensuth Willowviper, who kind of is the daily face-to-face. Stonegaze is one level up and kind of sits out and watches over everything, and generally only interacts with a couple of people, but is kind of gone a lot of the time. So I think that they're gonna deal with that. And then so they did meet, however, one of the 2 spell scale vassals who are like draconic knights that serve the Dragon Empire and serve specific dragons of the Dragon Empire. And that spell scale vassal saw that something got stolen, went down there, and then confronted the characters. So the characters, we're going to begin today with a strong start in this chamber of the characters facing off against a spell scale vassal. And I think this spell scale vassal was, Strifeblade, a copper spell scale vassal. So we're going to jump over to our obsidian notes And we are going to create a new session today. I am using Obsidian to do my game prep. If you want to learn more about Obsidian for game prep, you can find the link in the show notes. Create a new Dragon Empire template. So I have 4 characters today. Amavin is there, Gaudenzia is there, Cal is there, and Mateo is there. Amavin is not there. Rowan is there, Tolstoy is not there, and Emmert is not there. So we have 4 characters today. They are 8th level. That gives us an LEB, a lazy encounter benchmark of 16. That's pretty easy to calculate. Are they 9th? I think they're 8th level, because if they're 9th, I didn't write it down, because I was looking through my character notes, and I wrote down 8th level stuff, and I would have written 9th level stuff. I'm pretty sure. So I'm not 100%. So we'll find out. It's possible that I could, the LEB would change slightly if they went from 8th to 9th. It would be 18 instead of 16, but I'm not really that worried about it. Also, they only have 4, and 4, 4 is the synergy of 4 is less than the synergy of 5. So they are facing off against Strifeblade. Strifeblade, the spell scale vassal, confronts the characters. I think the spell scale vassal is a monster that's going to be in the in the Kobold Press Tales of the Valiant Monster Vault 2. It is a monster that I created for that, and here's a secret. I made it for this campaign and then for publish. I didn't. So when I offered the proposal to Kobold Press, I had this guy in mind, and I was like, I'm running a Dragon Empire game. Wouldn't it be cool to have a Draconic Knight? And they said, that'd be cool. And so I made a Draconic Knight and designed it for Kobold Press. But I had this campaign in the back of my mind when I made it. And I've been running it. And we'll see how it compares when it actually gets fully published. And I think the Monster Vault 2 should be out really soon. So I think we should see a fully published version of this guy. But I'm very happy with this monster. I think it's a really fun monster. I also wrote a new Doom Points thing for them too, which is also going to be Monster Vault 2. So I got a couple pieces of Monster Vault 2. I'm excited for that. I don't know if this is going to be what the final one looks like. And it's a CR8. It's a fun one. So what I love about this monster, what I'm excited about with this monster, is that the spell scale vassal is really, there's a lot of ways to use it. You can change the color of the vassal to create a whole bunch of different feelings for that monster, right? So they have this Draconic Bond, it has a particular type, but I think and then you look at the dragon type. Let's look at our Monster Vault here, and we will go to this is a copper spell scale vassal. So what is and you can sort of take features. So the copper one's breath weapon is acid and slowing. So we could have a kind of a fun slow effect on our particular spell scale vassal. That I like the idea of changing, and this I don't think is going to be in the final stat block that's published, but we can do things on ourselves. So the idea that it has acidic weapons, the idea that it has acidic weapons and maybe a slowing effect would be pretty cool. So we'll just write acid plus slow. I'll figure that out. And it's CR8, and we said 16. So we could have, we have, good old veterans or knights, right? Let's take a look at the knights. If we have NPCs, and let's take a look at, would these be veterans or knights? I think they'd be knights. Knights are CR3, 68 hit points. Oh, wow, man. The knights would give advantage on its first attack. They have an empowering presence. Wow. 3 greatsword attacks. They're pretty, and Champion's Challenge. Yeah, that's pretty good. So we're gonna have 3 knights. So that is 17. That's slightly. I'm gonna knock it down to 2 knights because it doesn't need to be a total drag out knockdown fight. And the knights are on page 367. So that's our strong start. So let's talk about the characters a little bit and see if there are hooks for the characters that we want to bring into the rest of what's going on in today's session. Particularly when we're thinking they're crawling through the rest of this place, going up to the top. So Gaudenzia, who has dealt with Yeah, has seen sort of the nobility of this, recognizes. I don't need to write like recognizes that. It's just a secret that's tied to Gaudenzia. Powerful nobles often don't appear to lesser folk. Cal is a druid, probably knows the ways of basilisks. Mateo. It would be really interesting if Mateo knew that like certain, like if the forges and the furnaces, could this place be destroyed? That could be kind of interesting. Or something about the construction. So Mateo is a mechanist. Also and has like a celestial presence here. I don't know about like, cause that would take the whole place down. That kind of changes a lot. What could Mateo, a mechanist, know about this particular place? What would draw Mateo in here? Either as a celestial, there's a divinity here that isn't from the Dragon Empire. Rowan is the fighter. Probably recognizes that loyal Jambuka are as loyal as the scaled folk, even though they're treated. Loyal Jambuka are as loyal to the scaled folk even if they're treated poorly. So scene-wise, one of the interesting things is now that we kind of know where they're going, we have a better idea of the scenes that are going to occur, right? Like when you're running a dungeon, I've been thinking about this and I've been writing about this recently, that when you're running a dungeon, when you first start by writing the dungeon, you really don't know what path they're going to take. Are they going to go in the front door? Are they going to sneak in? Are they going to fly in from the top? Are they going to pretend to be somebody else? You don't really know the approach, and that's really cool, right? It's really fun to kind of design things so that you don't know what approach they're going to take. But eventually, when they start to make their way in, you have a pretty good idea of the path they're going to take. And so from that, then you can start to refine down a little bit more, and you can do a little bit more prep, knowing that like it's very likely that they're going to go there. So the example is, I know that I know where they're going to start fighting Strifeblade and the vassals, right? And that's going to be a big issue. The interesting thing is Strifeblade came right down. He didn't tell anybody what he was doing. So nobody is really aware of what's going on. So that's one scene. The next scene is the lower hall. So we know that that's going to be, and in the lower hall, we have ornate tapestries. We have carved pillars, and we're going to have probably like scaled and Jambuka guards. And they're going to be a little bit more on alert. We could even put a clock in place. It might be fun to put like a Blades in the Dark style clock. And the clock is currently at 2. And if it reaches 4, are we going to be nice and say 5? If it reaches, is at 2 of 5. And 5 means the whole place is on high alert. Everybody here knows, including Stonegaze. And they're at 2, and that's because they stole something, and I think somebody rolled a bad stealth check, and that's why Strifeblade knows what's going on. But also, they've been doing a lot of stuff down below. I think the alert is going up. So this is a good opportunity to use a Blades in the Dark style clock. So how does a clock work? The clock is essentially a multi-step device that says when it reaches a certain point, the whole place is on high alert. The further up it goes, the more alert people are, and that could have an effect. The lower it is, the lower the clock, the less alert everyone is. And when it hits 5, it's like, it's like the star system in Grand Theft Auto, right? Like once you hit 5 stars, everyone's on you, right? Or in Cyberpunk 2077, same thing, right? Like, oh, look, they've got crazy jacked up cyborgs hunting me down because I shot too many people. So that's the same kind of idea that we have for this. So we have that lower hall. Yeah, and right, exactly. You could use the Shadow Dark Alertness, which means that you roll monster things more often. But yeah, in this, right, so that you could definitely have that. You could also have it that essentially the guards are on a higher alert than they normally would. So a bunch of guards that are sitting in the lower hall, a bunch of guards that are in the lower hall are already a little fired up just because they saw Strifeblade walk through, right? And when Strifeblade's walking through and drawing his big greatsword, we should actually figure out what kind of weapon he has. That'd be kind of fun. Yeah, you got the Cyber Psycho squad's attention, exactly. When they see him walk through, they're on alert. Whoa, he's up to something, right? They're not on full alert, right? But they're like, they just saw him go, and they just saw him walk through, and he walked through with his, pair of loyal knights, and like, right? Something bad. Maybe somebody did something, and who knows, right? They don't know that they're under attack necessarily, because he doesn't even know. He doesn't know until he shows up. Anyway, so we have like a lower hall, and I've got some idea about what's going on there. then they're probably going to go right. They know they're on alert. So I have a feeling the players are going to be like, we need to just go straight up. So good news for them is that they're going to go straight up, and there's going to be the audience hall. And in the audience hall, there's probably a procession of underlings. We have carved pillars. We have grand paintings. It's very ornate. Throne dais. And here is, I closed my notes from last time. I need my notes. Willowviper, Mensooth Willowviper, Young Dragon 55, page 155. And Willowviper is wrong book. A yellow dragon, a young yellow dragon who is also CR8. So again, we'll probably have a CR8 and another pair of knights, right? So that's the third scene. At this point, they will have been through a couple of pretty hard fights, right? And I mean, they could say like, we've got to, so there isn't a direct stairwell that leads up here though. So they'll still have to kind of explore the outer area, but it could be that they're getting so beat up that they might have to leave. So that's going to be a big question. Do they leave or do they continue? Like, are they going to leave and say like, man, we didn't get to Stonegaze yet, but we just killed Stonegaze's son. And so do they leave or they continue? And then they probably, if they do that, then they're going to make their way up to the upper. Oh, that's the thing. There is a overhang in the audience hall that we should put that in our audience hall. Grand paintings, throne dais, overlook. So they could try to make their way up there. And then there's these towers, and the towers lead all the way up to the top. And that's where Stonegaze lives outside. Stonegaze, she has a audience hall here, but she prefers to stay outside, and those who come to her go through these towers. And probably we're going to do a quantum spell scale vassal, who's the other one that protects her lair. And that one would be, who's the other spell scale vassal? Doom Shield. That's actually more of a secret than a scene, but it's kind of the same thing. Spellscale Vassal of the Void, Doom Shield protects the towers leading to Stonegaze's lair. So that would be one level up. I think this area is probably the vault, right? Like the treasure vault is in the north there. So I think that looks like the doors leading out of the place too. I may flip that and put the doors leading out are to the south. That makes more sense. So I'm going to modify my map in my head a little bit. So we're going to kind of see how that goes. And of course, a scene, confronting Stonegaze at the top of Sapphire's Song, lots of petrified statues. So that's the scenes. So the secrets, let's see. Doom Shield, the spellscale vassal, has been given specific instructions to protect the tower leading to Stonegaze, and does not leave his post. Are there any other secrets from last week that we want to grab and throw in there? Maintainers of Sapphire Song have black puddings in the water. We know that. Stonegaze, or Monley, is a half basilisk who loves decorating her villa with the statues of her victims. We probably have some victim statues in the upper hall as well. I have a lot of stuff here. I wonder if I should always highlight I wonder if Willowviper has any basilisk or has any, kind of, petrifying gaze kind of thing. Maybe. So the young yellow dragon, maybe, I don't know. We'll see. We'll play that by ear. Let's see. Secrets that we're going to take. Sapphire Song hosts a temple to Segatan, Lord of Ocean and Eternity. It used to be a shrine to Disinvir Startouch, the star dragon who dabbled in the ancient magics. We'll keep that. Stonegaze acts as a prophet to Segatan towards the lower scaled folk and Jambuka. Adisha admires Stonegaze's cunning. Rumors the two have several draconic children together. I think these secrets are fine. I think we'll grab these and drop these in here. Location-wise, I no longer need to worry about the sewers because they already got through that. That was some stuff they went through. They actually avoided the hag. If you recall, I had the hag at the beginning of the session, and they managed to avoid the hag. They came up with a big trick and got them to go a different direction than they wanted. It was really pretty cool. Sapphire Song lower chambers. I think I'll grab these and drop them in just so I have some stuff to play off of if I need it. And I think so. NPC wise, they did meet a cook, ambitious halfling folk hero with facial tattoos, Bayard Fellbelly, but it wasn't a halfling. I think it was a dwarf. And then Havric Springsong is a dragonborn priest of Segatan. Perhaps instead of having another knight, maybe there's a half song is with Willowviper. And the priest is on, get under our NPCs again. Probably, yeah, that's fine. 369. That looks pretty good. Don't need him there. I think all the other NPCs are kind of covered. I don't know that I need the monster section because I've already got monsters kind of integrated in the rest of my notes here. I do need treasure. I may re-roll. One of the problems I have is sometimes I grab treasure from last time, like this Featherlight Divine Chain Shirt Armor that can cast a Radiant Lightning Bolt. I can't remember if I gave that out or not. I'm going to grab this whole thing. I just said I wasn't going to, and then I'm doing exactly the thing I said I wasn't going to do. But I think it's right. I don't remember if anybody got that. So there's I think that would be a really cool set of armor to put on the priest. So, it could be a couple things that we have going on there. Are there any other secrets and clues? Anything else? Anything else that the characters could learn while they're going through here? Is there any? So I think they could learn that Adisha is very upset with the other Morza, particularly Ibelin, who he believes stole all that money he sent west. He's also sure that Parsis is going to betray them. He fears there's another Morza that we hinted at last time. We hinted at recently. Lashmarak, whose borders are north of Adisha's own holdings and has the same temperament Adisha has. That could be interesting. So I don't know. So the good news is, how do I feel? Like, if I had to go with what I've got, do I feel like I've got, let me jump to my notes so we can look through it here. Do I feel like we got 4 characters. I know their stuff. I know how we're going to start. I have a pretty good idea about what they're going to face as they travel through. We have some kind of interesting things that they're going to face, and eventually they'll face Stonegaze. Stonegaze is going to be a half basilisk adult green dragon. That is going to be a very strong foe. Honestly, I hope the characters do not reach them today, because if they do, they could get killed. It's a CR 15. Really tough for 4 level 8 characters, right? 8 should be 12. They should not face a CR higher than 12, and his CR or her CR is going to be 15. Lots of hit points. And also having the basilisks, the basilisks thing, that could go badly. But taking a look, so how much damage does it do? Poison Breath does 56 poison damage, and it's got legendary actions, including rapid 15-point tail attacks. We're going to ignore the Frightful Presence and replace it with the paralysis, the basilisk's paralysis. Let's take a look at the basilisk. It has a petrifying gaze. When a creature that can see the basilisk's eyes starts its turn within 30 feet, the basilisk can force it to make a DC 12 con save. So we're going to change the fear out for this, and on multiple failures. So it's a DC 15 for it. And it means like you can't look at it, right? So I think that that's going to be a very dangerous fight. But you never know. So we'll see how that goes. Then what? So I have a little extra time. So what would the next quests be? Is it time to start thinking about them going into the dry lands to recover their gold? They bring that up a lot. They would be 9th level at that point. So I think they want to, I'm kind of hoping they'll go back to 440 fingers, because I think now the spy from Nuria is there. So I have some, I think in the campaign support, I have like where is it? I think it's time to split these off. I'm going to put these in their own note. We're just going to call them quests. So they still want to break the children of Maud out of captivity. That was something they said specifically they want to do. This one they're doing right now. They're not going to smuggle the Larva of Din. They already destroyed that. So we know that that's no longer a quest. I think that meeting the spy master of Nuria Natal is something I want them to do. And then the Nuria, and that will lead to a possible quest there. And I think this one, so there's a couple There's a couple quests that could come from the Spy Master of Nurian Natal, which is smuggle an Ermanli noble out of the Dragon Empire and into Nurian Natal, and save the Sultana, the former Sultana, from assassination. I think those could be interesting quests. And I think in the next phase, I think that's one phase of quests. And then the next phase, I think we definitely want to have the recover the 3 million gold with the sharpened coin in the dry lands. That's a good one. Like, I think that one's the one they're very excited about. So we meet the Spy Master, we get that one, save the Sultana, smuggle Parsis' son. The Ermanli noble is actually Parsis' son in secret. I don't know who the Paharolendi is. Let's do a search for that in Midgard. I had this quest. A quartermaster to the Marathi the armies. Oh, yeah. So this is the equivalent of disrupts the eastern advances of the Dragon Empire. In the same way, they disrupted the West. And this is page 148. We'll mark that one. I think recovering a dragon-slaying weapon would be a really good one. Steal a treasure cache headed to one of the dragon treasuries, but make it look like someone else did it. I think they kind of already did that one. That's probably lower on the list. Like, we'll keep that one handy. Do something at Sayas. There's a good one. Fuel the feud. Plant a cursed magic item in an ancient ruin so that it goes to one of the Morza. That's kind of fun. Discover old caches of treasure from the previous sultans and sultanas. Dethrone and delegitimize local Tamarli lords and Ermanli governors. Find the ancient magic spells to slay dragons. Do something in Sayas. And then the high tier adventures are starting to kill the movie. So the next 3 quests: break the children of Mod out of captivity, meet the Spy Master in Nurian Natal. I don't need to put these in my notes yet, I don't think, but I think those feel like good ones. I think that those could be kind of fun. We're going to put that one back in because I don't know which ones I'm going to pick for the set after that. We'll see how things go when we have that. So that gives me some good ideas about the future quests that they're going to go on. I don't know how long the campaign will go. Probably, I'd like them to get to like 15th-ish level, like your 16th-ish level. So at least through the end of tier 3. And at that point, they're probably able to start killing all the Morza, right? And then and disrupting all of the rest. And we'll see. Who the hell knows? That's half the campaign. That's half a campaign away. So I have no idea where it's going. Friends, I think we are all set today. I feel good about my notes. I feel good about my prep, which is the important thing. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today while we prepped for my game. I hope you enjoyed the show. If you did, and you want more stuff like this, the best thing you can do is subscribe to the Sly Flourish newsletter. It is absolutely free to sign up. You can find a link down in the show notes. You get a weekly RPG-related emails sent to your inbox, including links to all of the other work that I do. And you get a free adventure generator for signing up, all totally free to do. You can also support me directly on Patreon. Patrons get access to all kinds of cool tools, a dedicated Discord server, fantastic community of other lazy GMs, and lots of stuff to help you run your role-playing games. And you can pick up any of my books, including Return of the Lazy Dungeon Master, The Lazy DM's Workbook, The Lazy DM's Companion, Forge of Foes, City of Arches, and more at the Sly Flourish Bookstore. Links for all of those in the show notes. Please check them out. Thank you so much. Have a great day, and get out there and play at RPG.